Hi, my name is Daniel Westbrook, and we're working on a kitchen remodel up here on Capitol Hill. And one of the components of this kitchen remodel is we're going to be installing a pocket door behind me in this wall. And today we're going to be putting in the framing for that pocket door. One of the reasons why we like to use pocket doors is that they are a real space saver, especially for a tight remodel like this one. Okay, so there's a lot of different types of pocket door frames that you can use for your project. I like to use this Johnson pocket door frame that has the separate studs that are wrapped in a steel and the track that's separate. And the reason why is because I can customize this for a lot of different applications, especially when working in historic homes like this one that aren't square or level or plumb and door heights are different, that type of thing. I can customize this to fit just about any application. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is lay out for our pocket door, not only in width, but also in height. Now, one of the things I want to point out that's really important in doing a kitchen remodel like this is that there's a lot of horizontal lines with tile, with trim, and everything has to line up pretty well. In this case, all of our head trim from all of our doors and our windows all have to be in the same plane. They all have to line up. So what I like to do is put together a pattern or a story pole that helps me to know where all my headers are going to be set, helps me to know where all my finished trim is going to be set. And then once I have a laser level set up, like you can see this red line up here, that's my point of reference. So I've got this for the entire remodel and I can use it against this red line right there. You can see my line on the story pole where I've marked it. And that will tell me where my trim is going to be and where I can set the header for this pocket door. And that's the first thing that I like to do. Okay, I've read the directions and now it's time to lay out for our door. I know where the center line of the door is going to be based upon the architect, and now all I have to do is measure the door width. In this case it's 2'8". The door width again, so that's 2 times the door width plus an inch, which I believe is what the directions told me. That establishes my rough opening. And from there, I can lay out my king stud on either side and start that framing first, so then we can set the header. As you can see on this side, I've already put in my king stud. So now I'm going to put in the king stud on the other side, and that'll give us our total framing opening. Now it's really important that you have everything exactly plumb and the header exactly level, and you'll see why when we get this thing all together. All right, now the next step is to measure and cut our header. So one of the interesting things that we're going to have to do with this pocket door framing when we put in the header is that our header is going to interface with this beam. And so I'm going to have to cut that out in order to install that. So I'm going to measure and do that next. All right, now all I simply need to do is secure this. And now we've got our header in place, our king studs, and our trimmers, and the next step is going to be start putting in the pocket door frame. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is cut down the track. If you notice, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but if you notice these hash marks on here, it says a 2.0, 2.4, 2.6, 2.8, that's where you want to cut the frame on the track down to the size of the door slab that you're using. It's all in the directions. I encourage you to keep reading the directions through the process, but we're going to make a cut here. You can see I highlighted it already. We're going to make a cut on the other side, And down on this end of the track, you can also see they've got a 2/8, which is the size of door we're using. And I've also marked that. So we're going to cut the wood first, and then the next step is to cut the aluminum track down to the right size. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so the next step is install the head track now that we've got it cut down. And there's a bracket on either end, and these brackets are adjustable in case there's a little bit of a difference in the framing. So let's go ahead and install this next. Shannon? Okay, so we've installed our pocket door studs on this side of the door. I want to point out something that's a little bit different. You see this piece of plywood that we've put on the floor here right at the bottom of the wall here inside the pocket? That's a spacer that I put in because this section of the floor is way low, which actually makes our studs a little bit too short for this application. So even though we had to do some custom stuff on this pocket door, it's absolutely critical to get it perfect because in this kitchen remodel, this is going to be floor to ceiling tile. There's a lot of horizontal lines going on in here. The cabinets are coming right up to the trim. And one of my next steps now is going to be to draw my trim on the floor so my custom cabinet maker can measure his cabinets exactly where my trim is going to be located with this pocket door. My name is Daniel Westbrook. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.